over the weekend against the Royals. They'll be hosting the Washington Nationals, who played a 3-game set against the Dodgers over the weekend and only won one game on Saturday. Mitchell Parker will be going for the Nationals tonight, while Stephen Kolek will be going for the Padres. The run line is set 8.5, with the Padres currently favored by -175.5. And the Oklahoma City Thunder are NBA champs. Tyrese Halliburton, unfortunately, in the first quarter hurt his right calf. It has been confirmed today by Shams Charania. It is a torn Achilles. Rap radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com. You can get an extra 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
What time is it? Game time!
Walk off magic at Petco.
Iglesias to short. Spinning and throwing off. Leads.
Padres take 2 of 3 over the weekend. Tonight, the Nats roll into America's finest city. Game 7 of the NBA Finals. The joy.
The final chapter reads the Oklahoma City Thunder are the 2025 NBA champions.
And the pain.
Halliburton's hurt.
Those others that Sammy and I talk about, how they need to step up because you can't have a team where the only guys who are hitting are Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Luis Arraez and Jackson Merrill. Those guys have done a lot this year. They are the reason the Padres record is where it is. But how about Xander Bogaerts being the hottest hitter in all of baseball? How about Jose Iglesias stepping up big time yesterday after pinch hitting for Jake Cronenworth? And how about Randy Vasquez for the first time in his career completing a 7-inning start? Good news for the Padres, who do feel like they got a little bit of that swagger back, a little bit of that juice back after getting it just ripped out of their hearts from the Los Angeles Dodgers. So I say very positive weekend for the San Diego Padres, who answered a few questions this weekend, I think. Now, I did have a moment yesterday where I was watching Seth Lugo absolutely dominate. I think at one point Seth Lugo put down 18 straight Padres. I miss Seth Lugo on the Padres. And I feel like we're going to have deja vu when James Woods walks into Petco Park over the next few games, because James Wood and Jackson Merrill were the two bright superstars coming up through the Padres ranks together. And now James Wood is one of the best left fielders in baseball. What do the Padres?
CJ Abrams too.
Do the Padres have a position of need right now, Sammy? Would you say it's?
They could use a left fielder.
They could use a left fielder. Well, James Wood's a pretty freaking good one, and he's about to be in San Diego for the next 3, along with CJ Abrams, like you said. So I think we're going to get lots of deja vu here over the next couple of days.
Yeah, crazy weekend in sports. So much going on. The Padres definitely, that the comeback yesterday was kind of vintage Padres. It feels like this team we know can come back. Unfortunately, they put themselves in those positions a lot of times by not scoring early. But credit to them, they did come back. I said on Friday I got some hate for it, but I thought the Royals would be a pretty pesky team, and they were. But a really good job of the Padres to win the series, get back on track, as you were just talking about. I mean, Wood, Abrams. The Nationals are not a great team, but over the weekend, they kind of found their flow against the Dodgers a little bit. They were 23rd in home runs coming into the weekend, and they hit like 8 over the weekend, 7 over the first 2 days against the Dodgers. They only won 1 game on Saturday, but Wood and Abrams are absolute superstars, man. And hopefully
Mackenzie Gore, Josh Bell also on this team.
I mean, there's some
all Padres.
There's some really good young talent on this Nationals team, not a team to be taken lightly, but nice seeing the Padres kind of get right over the weekend after a tough week and a half there. And this home stretch is a real opportunity for the Padres kind of build back a little momentum heading into the All-Star break. Really important couple weeks here for San Diego.
I haven't looked at the projected starters, but are the Padres going to face off with Mackenzie Gore, or did he just pitch?
Now.
We'll take a look at that.
They got Mitchell Parker going tonight.
All right, we'll see, man. It should be a fun couple of days out of Petco Park. All right, we're going to do the big three right now. We got to get to the NBA Finals, which are done. The NBA season is over for at least, 3 months before they get training camp started. And the OKC Thunder are the champs, but that doesn't really tell you the story of the series or the story of last night in particular. Also, huge news out of the fighting world where John Jones retires kind of out of nowhere. We'll get to it all, but right now it's the big three of the top stories in the world of sports, brought to you by one Sammy Long. Sammy, smash the button.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
If you would like to watch the show, you can do so in two different manners. On YouTube, at San Diego Sports 760. That one stays live from 12 all the way to 6. John and Jim take it over right after we do. And on X, at Fletch and Sammy. Fletch and Sammy on X. Give us a follow there. We sure would love it. Sammy, where are we starting today in hour number 1?
All right, we're going to start in the NBA Finals. Last night, obviously, Game 7. Everyone excited for Oklahoma City Thunder pull away in the second half, but Tyrese Halliburton goes down 5 minutes into the game, tore his Achilles, which is just awful news, man, because he's going to miss a lot of the season next year, or all of it. Does it take away from the Thunder title that Halliburton got hurt in that game?
100%. No, this sucks, man. And watching it live last night, I felt so bad for him because he knew it right away. Everyone watching knew it right away. And Sammy, I hate to say this, we said it on the air Friday. What do strained calves lead to? They lead to ruptured Achilles. And maybe it was him coming back too soon. There's a big difference between playing hurt and playing injured. He was playing injured. And of course, hindsight's 2020. Of course, he shouldn't have played. He would never do that. The team would never be okay with that, because what was this team? It was the team of destiny. The Indiana Pacers had 4 separate games this year where in the exact scenario, no team had ever won a postseason game. 4 different times. And a lot of that was Tyrese Halliburton making ridiculous shots. A lot of it was Tyrese Halliburton leading the charge on some 20-point comebacks in this postseason. It was all very, very Pacers the way this went down, as they were underdogs in every single series. And they were underdogs going into the final game last night. And of course, there's a lot of, the Pacers would have won if they didn't win. And that sucks. And watching the emotion on Tyrese Halliburton's face, that hurt a lot more than just the ruptured Achilles.
Yeah, listen, I don't want to, as someone who's a fan of the Lakers and as a lot of people talk about how the 2020 title doesn't really count, I'm not going to take away from Oklahoma City. They won the game. They had the best record all season. Just because Halliburton would have been there doesn't mean that they would have won the game. So I want to give Oklahoma City their props. If you're a Thunder fan, congratulations, you're a champion. But yes, it's hard when we haven't had a Game 7 in the NBA Finals since 2016, which was the iconic LeBron pin block on the Warriors. And it felt like it directly impacted the game. I mean, you got to give the Pacers a lot of credit. That could have been a 40-point blowout. You lose your superstar in the first 5 minutes, who, by the way, had 9 points immediately.
He was cooking.
So it's not like he was having an off night. And then the third quarter, when they went on the run, they were just doubling Siakam. TJ McConnell kept them in the game. But I think if you ask the Thunder, they're okay with TJ McConnell taking shots versus Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams, because at the end of the day, the talent of the Thunder are going to win out. It definitely had a weird vibe to it, and it took away some of the excitement of it. Would have loved to see it. There'll always be kind of a what if, an asterisk, which sucks for both ends. It sucks for Pacers fans. It also kind of sucks for the Thunder.
You could see it on their faces after the game. It wasn't some crazy elaborate celebration. You watch Game 7 in the Stanley Cup final. When Florida wins it, they go crazy. The Super Bowl every year, they go crazy. Even the Eagles went crazy this year, and they kicked the crap out of the team they were playing against. But you see these absurd celebrations, and OKC didn't have one. Yeah, they just kind of walked off.
It just took a little something out of the game, and it's disappointing. It sucks, and you hate to see it for Halliburton, man.
And it was a great series. I know nobody watched.
Yeah.
It was a great series. It's just a bummer final 3 quarters.
Yeah, and so, I mean, again, kudos to the Thunder, but wishing Tyrese Halliburton nothing but the best. Staying in the NBA, though, massive trade came out on Sunday in the morning. Kevin Durant traded the Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 overall pick, and 5 second-round picks. Houston's odds to win a title jumped from 18-1 to plus 850, behind only Oklahoma City at plus 220. Do we think the Rockets are legit contenders? What do you think of the trade for both sides? How would you grade it, Fletch?
I actually think the Suns walk out of this smelling like roses. Now, the Houston Rockets, and you correct me if I'm wrong here, the Houston Rockets, they kind of got their name made this year by being tough and defensive and working hard and being rough and kind of bruising people up as they went. Well, Dylan Brooks was a big part of that. And think about how you want to as Dylan Brooks fans, but so was Jalen Green, who Jalen Green does have all the athletic ability in the world. You think that he has what it takes to become a one. I do feel like they lost a lot of their identity with those two guys leaving. And does KD match that same intensity? I don't think he does. KD's kind of a pretty boy basketball player. He's one of the greatest, most offensively talented players I've ever seen play basketball in my life, but I don't know that he fits what Houston was building. It seems a little odd that that was the landing spot. Spurs made so much more sense to me.
I totally agree with you. I get it. I get it from Houston's perspective of this. You needed a superstar. You had to do something because a team with Jalen Green being the number one best player was not going to win. This team's going to be formidable. Şengün's a really underrated player, one of the most in the NBA. Amen Thompson's really taking his game to the next level. But I do agree with you, Fletch, there. They kind of built this team on defense. And maybe it's just me. I don't think KD can be a one and win. And people are going to point to Golden State. Yeah, except Steph Curry was a top 3 player as well. You had Klay Thompson, who was a top 10 player at the time, and Draymond Green was probably a top 20 player at the time. So, yeah, he was the one on that team, but it was a 1A, 1B with him and Curry. We've seen it in Brooklyn. It didn't work out. We saw it in Phoenix. It didn't work out. I know there's some other circumstances with Bradley Beal not being very good, but I do think the Suns actually got a pretty good haul. Jalen Green could explode now that he's a 2 because Booker's going to be the one. Getting the number 10 overall pick in the draft coming up here on Wednesday and all that draft collateral. I get why both teams do it, but I do think that there are some teams above Houston after this free agency that I think would be a greater shot.
Like who? The Lakers?
I think the Lakers, if they get a center, I think Denver, I think everyone forgets that this team took Oklahoma City to a game 7 without a head coach and not a really great supporting cast. They're going to be back. I think there's a cap on Minnesota. I don't know how much better Minnesota can get, but the Warriors. I'm not saying they're old, but we didn't get to see what Curry, Butler, and these guys could do in the postseason.
Could have been so different, man.
Could have been so different. So,
don't you think the Suns are kind of turning into the Padres of Major League Baseball? Like how the Padres have shortstop at second base, shortstop at shortstop, shortstop at third base, shortstop at right field, shortstop at center field. It now kind of feels like the Suns have shooting guards for all 5 positions.
Yeah. They called, apparently. They're trying to get rid of Bradley Beal, and no other team wants him. All 29 teams said no.
Do they have – who would be their starting center? Jalen Green?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Because Ayton's gone. I forgot who the center is, actually. Yeah, not Nurkic, but yeah, certainly not a winning formula.
They just have like 10 shooting guards on their team.
they're just gonna shoot. Hey,
right,
today's NBA
one more.
All right, quickly one more. We're gonna get to this again later. John Jones retires. Dana White announces after the UFC card on Saturday night between Roundtree and Hill. He won't fight Aspinall, now heavyweight champ of the world, elevated to it. What is your reaction to John Jones retiring, not giving Aspinall a crack to beat him?
Is he actually retiring?
Sounds he put a tweet out. Listen, you never know that with fighters, but
and it's John Jones also who likes to put tweets out a lot of times. This does suck for the UFC fan base. I do kind of get it from John Jones's perspective. You think about, is he 31, 32?
He's like 37.
Yeah, he's up there. So John Jones, who's made more money than either of us could spend in an entire lifetime, does he want to go put his reputation at risk for a guy who it'd be, what, 50-50 fight if he fought Aspinall?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be pretty damn close.
He'd be favored. John Jones would be favored.
But does he want to put that reputation, the bad mother effer that he is, some people call him the greatest heavyweight UFC fighter of all time. I plan to put myself in that mix. Does he really want to put all that at risk to fight Aspinall, or could he just ride off into the sunset?
My problem with it is this. I'd have been fine if he, in his last fight, said, I'm done, I'm retired, I don't want to do this. But what he said was he wanted to fight Alex Pereira, which fight lost a little bit luster when he lost to Ankalaev the last time, knowing damn well that Pereira is not a natural heavyweight. He would be a massive favorite, even though people are going to go, Pereira's got a shot because he's got power. Yes, John Jones would take care of him. And then Francis Ngannou, which would have been a great fight. And it sounds like Ngannou might come back to the UFC and fight Aspinall, which will be a fun fight. But it sucks that you kind of stunted this guy's career. Tom Aspinall was on a direct shot line to a title. He's a really good fighter. You don't give him a crack and you hide behind, it's not marketable. It's a heavyweight championship.
It's marketable.
It's marketable. And for a sport in the UFC that badly needs superstars, because, I mean, you see Dana White at the press conference yesterday for Canelo Crawford, for all boxing's mishaps and the fact that we don't get the best fights, there are superstars in boxing. UFC, you get the fights, and unfortunately, they kind of fell into a boxing boat. They didn't get the best fight there is, and it's kind of a bummer that John Jones has really kind of held this division hostage the last 5 years because he just won't make a decision on whether he wants to fight or he doesn't want to. And shout out to Tom Aspinall, who's now the heavyweight champ of the world.
I guess, but it feels like it comes with an asterisk. It kind of sucks. All right, take a quick break here. On the other side, we'll explain how you're going to win those Billy Idol tickets, and we'll get back to the Padres, the weekend that was, and preview all the new Padres coming back into town. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. You like money? Sammy, do you like money?
We love it.
You want $1,000?
Hell yeah.
Well, you can't win it, but everyone else out here can. San Diego Sports 760 with 9 chances today for you to win $1,000 every single weekday with the bonus bucks giveaway. Listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. Your next chance to win $1,000 coming up at 1 o'clock right here on San Diego Sports 760. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. Thank you for being here. We sure do appreciate it. We talk lots of Padres here, talk all San Diego sports. We are waiting with bated breath for the NFL season to begin. I believe we're in the neighborhood of 70 days left to go, just a little over 2 months until we got football back in our lives, and we cannot wait for it. But we got some time here to talk some pods. We got some time to talk about San Diego State's new TV deal with the Pac-12. Did you see that announced earlier today?
I saw that. That's exciting.
It's a big deal, man. So I honestly, not a ton is going to change for you Aztec fans. I think there's going to be 3 or 4 games every single year on big CBS for basketball and football. Then the rest of the games will all be on CBS Sports Network. So if you've been watching over the last few years, if you've been paying attention to Aztecs football, Aztecs basketball, I do believe the majority of it's going to stay the same for you. And there's a little extra streaming package as well on Paramount Plus, which I subscribe to. So that's going to be easy. Good for the Pac-12.
Listen, it's fun when you get it accessible. I mean, look what happened. Not that hockey's the biggest sport in America, but look what happened to hockey. They were on NBC Sports, and a lot of people, it doesn't come in people's cable plans. They go to ESPN. The sport has grown. It's exciting. They're going to be on CBS. Everyone's got CBS. People, or if you don't, you have Paramount Plus. It's exciting, and it's cool that the Aztecs gonna be playing on the national scale,
and that's signed through 2030 and 2031, I believe. So for the next few years, this was good to get it done in place. And it's not a streaming only package, which I was a little bit nervous about. I'll be honest. If you were gonna have to sign up for an Apple TV or something like that, and then pay an extra amount so that you could get the games, that is not what they're doing. This is on TV. So congratulations to the new Pac-12 for getting the deal done. I know JD Wicker's been working hard on it for a while. Now that's done. Padres, who you do have to pay extra to watch on a streaming package on your TV, if you're like me. That's a whole
different thing.
It's like $90 a year or whatever. It's kind of easy, but it is annoying. Padres, they do get the job done this weekend, and that was good to see. But something that we kind of joked about earlier, Sammy, was watching Seth Lugo come out and really dominate for his entire performance. It wasn't until he got out that they walked the bases loaded and the heroics of Iglesias happened. But watching Seth Lugo was like, oh, damn, the Padres could use a Seth Lugo right now. Now, obviously, it's a little different story. He left in free agency, made a ton of money when he left. So good for him. The one that's going to sting is happening today, tomorrow, and the next day as the Nationals are coming to town to take on the Padres. Because if we remember, 2.5 years ago now, Juan Soto became a San Diego Padre from the Washington Nationals. And all the Padres had to give up to do that was Luke Voit, C.J. Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, Robert Hassel III, James Wood, and Yarlin Susana, which 3 of those names, man, are mainstays in the national organization. And 2 of them are outfielders.
Listen,
it stinks.
Everything's got hindsight 2020. You make the move for Juan Soto because that's what you thought was going to put you over the top. It almost did. It put you up over the Dodgers that year, and you lost the Phillies. But, I mean, damn, if you had Gore and Wood and Abrams with this team, you'd solve your outfield problems. You'd have another ace superstar pitcher that could really kind of lead out this lineup. And then you could just focus your kind of trade assets on the bullpen. Again, hindsight's 2020, so it's hard. You can't kill Preller or any of these guys.
And I don't. It was the right move at the right time.
But, I mean, you're talking about James Wood. This dude's unbelievable. I mean, the Dodgers were completely pitching around him over the weekend. They were like not even messing with him. He has absolutely destroyed the ball up there at Chavez Ravine. CJ Abrams has really become a nice player for them. And Mackenzie Gore, yeah, I mean it's I'm sure that they're gonna have some. This is gonna be a fun series because I hope the Padres don't take it lightly. Coming off a series win against the Royals, who even though the record's not great, I still stand by as pretty pesky fight. A team with a young, talented team. So I'm gonna give the Padres a lot of credit for winning that series. This is another team like that may be a couple years away from being really good. Young team, probably going to have some motivation coming back to the place that traded them, and the bats better be on.
Dude, I miss Luke Voit. Do you remember him with the Padres?
I know, Voit was nice.
Luke Voit with the chest cabbage, had so much chest hair, and he was showing it off on every single game. But watching James Wood is going to be the toughest one, I think, because he plays the position that you need. He's out in the outfield, and he's playing some really, really good baseball for the Nationals this year. Like you said, I saw a couple clips of him playing against the Dodgers over the weekend, and they do kind of pitch around him. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing. He's had a hell of a year.
This series is going to come down to, now this might work out well for the Padres because Iglesias and Xander Bogaerts been phenomenal.
Xander Bogaerts, 11 of his last 19 at-bats?
Yeah, phenomenal.
He's on fire.
This is going to come down to who wins down the order because we know that Tatis and Machado and these guys are going to show up and arise, and then Wood and Abrams and these guys are going to show up as well. I think where the Nationals lack and why they're not some great ball club is because down the batting order, they're not quite as talented as where they need to be. And that's kind of been some of the Padres' problems is once you get past 5, taking away the weekend, there's been a massive problem. But the way Xander Bogaerts hitting with a lot of confidence, Iglesias has been nice. Bryce Johnson had a couple nice hits. I mean, down the lineup, they're playing a lot better. I think that's where the Padres have an edge in the series, assuming they continue keeping up that level of play that they brought the last 4 days.
It was good to see them get a little bit of their swagger back, and it was good to see Fernando Tatis hitting with some power again, hit a homer on Saturday night. He had the first hit of the game yesterday before the Padres went hitless for like 18 or 19 batters.
He nuked that ball yesterday.
Oh, he did
Saturday,
nuke it. But the one kind of bummer about yesterday's game, Luis Arraez was up to like, I think 113 straight plate appearances without striking out, and Lugo got him, set him down. Lugo had a lot of strikeouts yesterday. He was filthy, man.
I feel like Arraez isn't getting enough respect. He really, like, the way he's playing.
It's because of the eyeball test. It's like the numbers, you can't not respect the numbers.
Well, and this is what, comparing this to the NFL, why do people fall in love with Matthew Stafford and Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, because they can chuck it a mile? Alex Smith, guys like that, were never sexy. People didn't they didn't make the highlight reel. They weren't putting 60-yard bombs up there, but they just dime people down the field. I think Arraez is the same way. He doesn't have the power of a Machado or a Tatis or a guy like that, but he just gets on base. It really allows those players to step up. There's a thought to moving it back to leadoff.
Maybe.
I'm just saying.
Not if Fernando keeps hitting like he's hit this weekend. You think you got him back a little bit. You keep that juice at the top. But the Luis Arraez thing, he wasn't even hitting second yesterday. It was Jackson Merrill got bumped up in the lineup.
Yeah, so I'm just telling you, there's a thought. They had it last year, and he was awful in the playoffs, but people forget that he was hurt. If he keeps hitting like this, there's a thought to moving him up to 1 and trying to get some of these guys on base. So the power of Tatis and Machado come through a little bit later on.
70470. Start your message with team. You want to change up the lineup right now? You like Jackson Merrill at 2? You want to move Arraez up to 1? Let's talk about it. We can have that conversation. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Take a quick break here. If you want to win those Billy Idol tickets, we are going to give them away within the next 15 minutes. So stay tuned here on San Diego Sports 760. Billy Idol tickets coming up at the end of the next time you hear our voices. It's San Diego Sports 760. Quick break here. Back and talking NBA Finals coming up next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This sport is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Tonight, Padres welcome the Nationals for a 3-game set in Topeka. The Nationals bringing a record of 32-46. The Padres being 42-35 after winning 2 of 3 over the weekend over the Royals. That game will be going at 6:40. Mitchell Parker will be going for the Nationals, while Stephen Kolek will be going for the Pods. The Padres are currently minus 175 on the money line. And the Anaheim Ducks have dealt star Trevor Zegras to the Philadelphia Flyers for Ryan Poling and a couple of picks ahead of the NHL draft. It's a race to the rebate finish line. Homeowners are saving $500 instantly with Anderson Plumbing's water heater buyback program and qualifying for instant rebates. You better call before rebates run out. Book today at AndersonPHA.com. Nobody wows clients like they do.
Download the free iHeartRadio app today. If you don't already have it, you can search us, add us to your presets. Just go to that little search bar, go San Diego Sports 760, hit the plus button. That way our station is right there at the top. You could listen to us, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long. You listen to John and Jim. You listen to SDFC Midweek Live. All of it right there on the free iHeartRadio app. And don't forget about the talkback mic, Sammy.
Oh, we love the talkback mic.
Don't forget about
Always
the
send us a
talkback
talkback mic.
Please do, actually. We haven't used it in a while, so hit us up on the talkback mic today. That's a little red microphone icon.
If you have any comments on the fact that I just played Jack Harlow, and I hope the camera didn't see it, but Ben Fletcher
What's
just
that
hit
called?
The whip in Nene.
Is that the whoa? The whoa is when you throw something up and then you...
No, you hit the whip in Nene. By the way, Silenso, you heard what's going on with him?
Is that the guy that killed someone?
Yeah, his cousin. He's in prison now.
Right after he DM'd Cat Fisher.
I know. We
Isn't that
gotta get her
crazy?
on the show to ask her about that. Silenso.
Man, what's it like being a pretty girl these days? You just get DM'd by murderers? Is that what
Yeah,
happens?
What did she say?
I don't know, dude. I haven't even talked to her about it.
I saw that on her Instagram. I was like, that's actually like,
It's kind of crazy that she posted it, honestly.
yeah, that's like investigative reporting.
All right. Speaking of Cat Fisher and Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, first of all, if you've missed the guys, they are back. I'm taking some time off beginning Wednesday this week, and I'll be out for about a week and a half. Big Rich, TD are filling in on Thursday this week.
The boys.
So it'll be Big Rich, TD, Sammy, and it'll be streaming. You can watch it. It's going to be chaos, I'm sure.
Fletcher, we love you, but I just want to give you a heads up. It's probably not best that you listen to that show because it's going to be, whenever there's a lull in the show, it's just going to be punching bag Fletcher.
That's all right. I'm sure there might be some booze involved. We'll see. There's a reason they're only filling in one day. That's all Mary Ayala, program director, would allow them to fill in.
Yeah, we might get thrown off the air. It could happen.
Just be ready with that dump button, man. I sat in that chair for Rich and Travis a lot over my career. That dump button is going to be used.
Our audience, our beautiful audience, they're used to cuss words. They're used to big boy words.
Yeah, it's not the audience I'm worried about. It is the Federal Communications, whatever, the FCC.
We don't worry about them.
Speaking of Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, though, we still do our show every morning over on 101.5 KGB. You could listen to it from 6 to 10 a.m. And this Wednesday, my first of my days off, I'm actually not leaving to go on vacation yet. We are recording a show called On the Air with Sully and Little Tommy up in Carlsbad. And if you want to be a part of the live audience, you can.
My boy's a TV star.
I'm gonna be this weekend.
What are we wearing?
I don't know yet.
That's the thing. You got to look fresh for TV.
I really don't know. But if you would like to be a part of the live audience, I do have an email address that you can email and then come hang out with us on Wednesday, I believe around 11 o'clock. Audience@loft100studios.com. Audience@loft100studios.com. And they said anybody who emails that, they'll hook up with tickets to come watch the taping of the show.
That's awesome.
Like
Are you guys
Price is
like?
Right
Is it like
style.
it's like a game show?
No, I think it's like I honestly have never seen it, which probably makes me a bad San Diegan. It runs Saturday and Sundays on KUSI and Fox 5.
Okay.
I've never seen it before. This is my first time on it. This is Rich and TD's first time on it. We're really excited about it. We're huge fans of Lil Tommy and Sully. Lil Tommy worked in this building for decades, it feels like. But we're doing it this week for a very first time and don't really know what to expect. It's going to be chaos. We have not prepared anything, but I would imagine it's going to go off the rails.
You have not prepared anything.
No.
It's a little alarming considering it's Saturday.
Yeah, we'll have fun. Well, the taping's on Wednesday. Like
it's
2
on
days.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, but guess what? When is it? It airs on Saturday?
Saturday and Sunday.
See, I'll get a full recap on Thursday from the guys. I'm going to ask them how you did.
It's going to be crazy. I like I said, I really don't know what to expect. I think we're up there for like an hour and a half, and then the thing gets cut down to an hour. So we'll definitely give them 30 minutes of cuttable material.
Okay.
Just leave that on the
excited.
floor.
I will definitely be tuning into that.
It should be fun, man. On the air with Little Tommy and Sully. Can't wait for it. Those are good dudes, and we're going to have some fun. All right, NBA Finals. finished up last night. What was the final score, Sammy? OKC ended up winning by 12 or 13 points, right?
Yeah, let me 103-91.
103-91 doesn't really tell a story of the game because it was tied when Tyrese Halliburton went down near center court, with 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter. It was a bummer because as soon as he went down, everybody, including Tyrese Halliburton, knew exactly what it was. And this Pacers team, who have been scratching and clawing their way through this postseason where they were dogged in every single series heading into it, they had gotten to the point where it's game 7 and anything could happen. You sent me a funny thing before the game yesterday where it was like game 7s are crazy because you could get a random role player pop off for 25 points and change the course of history. I thought we were going to get that last night. I really thought Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers, the way they've been playing,
tried his best.
He did, man. But the way the Pacers have been playing, just such a gritty team this whole postseason, I thought they had a real shot. But then their leader goes down. You knew he popped his Achilles. We all knew he popped his Achilles. He knew it sitting on the ground. I felt like that was just the moment where the balloon burst and there was no more team of destiny. This was team of good job, OKC. Congratulations.
Yeah, it sucks because as we were saying earlier, I mean, it sucks for both sides. It sucks for Pacers fans because it feels like it's like you're cursed. You got so close. You had a team of destiny type season.
And I don't see them really getting back.
I disagree with that. I could see them getting back because I just don't see in the Eastern Conference, especially next year, with Tatum out, looking like they're going to blow up Boston, the Boston Celtics team. They're kind of getting rid of. They can't pay all these guys.
Isn't Halliburton going to be out for the majority of next season?
Yeah, I guess Achilles, he's probably out for all next year. So I guess if that's the case, then I mean the East is wide open.
That's great. Halliburton, Lillard, and Tatum will all probably be out till postseason time.
They just dropped like early odds for next year. Oklahoma City's plus 220, which is the shortest odds since that Warrior team in 2016-17.
They got like 5 first-round draft picks, and they got a young core.
I think there's some value. So the Cavs lead the way in the East at plus 700. The Knicks are plus 750. The Rockets jump to plus 850. Then there's a logjam at 14-1. The Pacers are 14-1. I think that'll drop because of the Halliburton injury. Minnesota's 14-1. Boston's 14-1. The Lakers are 14-1, followed by the Nuggets in Orlando at 18-1. The Warriors are 22-1. So I think there's some value there. I don't agree that Oklahoma City should be that much of a favorite. I think that the Eastern Conference makes sense. Like I get why the Knicks title odds are pretty high because I think the Knicks and the Cavs. I think Orlando could be interesting. I really do. I think Wagner coming back. People forget about Orlando. It's not a big market, not a big fan base. But Orlando with adding Bane, Paolo Banchero is probably one of the most underrated superstars in the entire game that doesn't get talked about enough. And the Wagner twins, that's a pretty interesting thing. If Durant had gone to Miami, I thought Miami could have been. They just don't have a number one player right now. The Eastern Conference is wide open. I just don't know that performance last night, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is me hoping because I'm a Laker fan, but I don't know that Oklahoma City's a dynasty. Like if you put Oklahoma City up there, this championship team with the champions in the last, like Fletcher, who would you take for that Warriors team, 2016-17 against this Thunder team?
Oh, Warriors, not even close.
Easy,
not even close.
Kobe Shaq teams, who are you taking?
Kobe Shaq. Obviously
the Jordan Bulls. You're taking like I think the Spurs teams you would take over this Thunder team. I take that Denver team that won in 2022 over this. I don't know that with how loaded the West is, this team is really going to dominate like some people think.
Well, I think the thought is that Chet Holmgren's going to get better. He's going to get stronger. The thought is the SGA is going to continue this rise. Jalen Williams, the dude's a stud. Like he has potential to be really, really nice in the future. I think that the reason people look at this OKC team and think that dynasty is the next word to follow their name is because they're just scratching the surface on what they're going to become. Like, have you seen all this stuff? Like, these guys were so young, none of them knew how to open up champagne bottles. Alex Caruso had to walk around opening them for everyone. Jalen Williams said that's his first sip of alcohol he's ever had in his life was last night after the game. Yeah, that's what he said. I don't know if I believe him.
That's a lie.
But it's like this team is a bunch of babies. So they are just scratching the surface on what they can become. And most of them are there for the foreseeable future. Plus, they have a plethora of draft picks.
The draft picks make them seem relevant for years to come. I just don't know. I don't think Chet Holmgren is a superstar. I think Jalen Williams is really good. I don't think Chet Holmgren has that ability. I think Jalen Williams is an exceptional player. I think he's a very talented player. I don't know that he's a superstar. Shai is a superstar. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a superstar player.
You hear SGA awkwardly at the podium say Jalen Williams should have been MVP?
Well, not in the first half.
What did he say? He said, this is as much his MVP as it is mine.
Because when you have to pay these guys, I talked about this last week. I think it's a Denver Nuggets situation. You pay Jokic is a superstar, deserves to be a max salary level player. Jamal Murray, people question his stats in the regular season, but in terms of a playoff performer, he's one of the most clutch NBA players in the postseason that is playing today. You pay Michael Porter Jr. because of that run, like a max salary level player. Then all of a sudden, there goes your bench. And Oklahoma City does have the draft capital to keep this up and can keep some draft picks going. I think Chet Holmgren's going to demand a max salary level contract. So is Jalen Williams. Once those guys get paid, they're going to have some tough decisions to make, whether you move off those guys and kind of keep the collection of the team and keep it around Shea and a collection of guys, or do you try to do a big three? I don't know that big three is dynasty worthy.
Billy Idol tickets coming up in about 35 seconds, so stay tuned here. Text line real quick, 949. Hutta and Austin should have gone home last night. Look, if you're not caught up on Love Island, you don't get that text.
I gotta catch up.
I disagree with it slightly. I don't think Hutta should be going home. In fact, I voted for her as my favorite house guest.
Oh, I gotta watch it.
I'm there. She is a terrible person. Let me make that very clear. She's not my favorite human being. She is my favorite Islander because of what she's brought to the Casa.
Islander.
Tonight's Casa Amor, by the way, it's about to pop off.
Can I just start watching tonight, or is that too?
No, you gotta watch the whole season.
All right, maybe I'll go back.
You gotta binge it, dude. Honestly, pay for the Peacock Premium so you don't have to worry about commercials and just
the ads
rip
on
straight
Peacock
through.
Drive me crazy.
Just rip straight through it. It is so good. 858, put some respect on the Phoenix Suns starting center, Bull.
Yes, I forgot about Bull. That was my bad. Bull is a great player.
858, John Jones is the GOAT, but not in heavyweight, light heavyweight only.
Very good text.
619 dudes, follow Jeff Grammer on X. You might have a better idea why John Jones is retiring. Did we miss something?
I gotta look. I'll look at that. 760 puts duck for John Jones ducking Aspinall. I agree with this. He really, his resume at heavyweight, fighting a 42-year-old Stipe Miocic, great fighter, but in the past, his resume at heavyweight is not, I think, what people make it out to be.
Here's like John Jones freaking sells out Madison Square Garden. It doesn't matter who you're fighting against. If the reasoning was because he didn't think it was marketable enough,
but you
could sell out MSG.
This is a little bit real quickly before we get to the next segment. Mayweather Pacquiao. Mayweather wanted no part of Pacquiao in 2011 when Pacquiao destroyed Ricky Hatton and Oscar De La Hoya was running through the entire divisions. He wanted no part of him. He waited till he's 2015, a little bit slower. Floyd knew that his defensive style could win this. I think John Jones knows Pereira he beat. I think he knows Ngannou he beat. I don't know if he knows Aspinall will be beat, and he doesn't want to take the loss for the payment.
Maybe. 619 sounds like a Bar Cart Friday type day with Big Rich and TD. Yeah, that's actually this Thursday. Rich and TD going to be filling in here along with Sammy. I don't know, man.
We got a whole schedule.
Good luck.
Can we announce the schedule for next week?
I know the coach is going to be filling in for a couple days.
J-Riff's Wednesday. We got Big Rich and TD on Thursday. J-Riff back Friday with Marshall. Monday, we got Frankie V getting in that channel 933 audience.
That's like your dream job, doing a show with Frankie V.
Frankie. Slee was on Tuesday.
Wow.
And then Quintera coach, the San Diego Sports Legend, is Wednesday and Thursday of next week.
That's going to be fun. You guys are going to have a good time, man. I will be on a dock in Tahoe drinking various drinks.
I'm glad that you dropped that, because I was worried about you. Every time you brought about this trip, you kept talking about how we're not going to Paris. You got to lose that. You got to we're going to Tahoe now.
We're going to Tahoe. We're going to San Luis Obispo. We're doing a little family reunion. It's going to be a very, very full week and a half off. And I'm very thankful to all these people who are jumping in. All right, Billy Idol tickets right now, 877-767-4760. Your shot to go see Billy Idol out at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater on September 23rd. Make it a summer full of live music with $30 concert tickets to 1,000+ shows on sale now at livenation.com/ticket to summer. Coming up next, long shots. How are you going to pay for all those tickets? Because Sammy Long's going to make you some money. Daily fantasy sports lineup on long shots coming up next. San Diego Sports 760. San Diego Sports 760 here on a Monday. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. John and Jim will take over then. I did want to give a quick shout out to both our buddy Brian, who just won those Billy Idol tickets. Thank you for listening, Brian. And also Wes on X, who reached out to us over the weekend, showing off some of his Prize Picks lineups that cashed for Wes. He obviously did not do Friday's long shots, but Wes did have a winner over the weekend.
Hey, Wes is a day one. Shout out to Wes.
Thank you for being here, Wes. We appreciate you as well, man. All right, let's not waste any more time and let's get right to it. It's time for long shots, which is when Sammy Long crafts out a daily fantasy sports lineup. We like to use Prize Picks. You could use whatever you want, but on Prize Picks, if you do use it, use promo code Fletch when you download it. That's going to get you a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 entry. Sammy Long, if you are ready to go, we are ready for you, and let's smash that button.
Let's see. Underdogs? Nah, that's old. Those with a less than good chance of winning? Too wordy. Wait, got it. It's time for Sammy's long shots.
I don't know if you saw this, Sammy, but Tyler on YouTube giving you a little hint here saying Luis Arias has a good chance to keep his hit streak going, 4 for 6 off of Parker in his career. You going to utilize that?
Saw that from Tyler. We just added it to the parlay right now.
I like it.
Prize Picks being a little weird right now.
Uh-oh.
Not dissing Prize Picks. We love Prize Picks, but they're not offering me a middle hit. You know what I mean? They got the green goblin. They got the red. It's okay, because guess what? We're doing a red demon today. That's what we're going with. I just got added to my lineup.
I think there's a pretty fat Caitlin Clark discount going on right now too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's a free bonus. So she 0.5 points. All she needs to do is score 1.
Okay, beautiful. All right, I'm adding this to the lineup. Total basis for Luis Arias. We're gonna go over 1.5. I believe it's a red demon right now. I do think he gets it back. I like what Tyler was saying that he's 4 or 6 off Parker. Arias is the most consistent hitter for the Padres. Not saying he's the best hitter. He's the most consistent hitter for the Padres. Whiskey Bent sent a great text we're going to get to here in a little bit about Luis Arias. So I believe he's going to get back on track. I think this is going to be a fun. I wouldn't be surprised if these couple games are pretty high scoring, especially with Kolek and Parker going tonight. I think we could see a pretty high scoring game hit the over in this Padre national game.
He just needs 2 singles or a double.
2 singles or double.
That's all we need, Luis.
I think Arias can certainly do that.
Come on.
And then by the way, putting these lines together a little bit tougher. We only got baseball and WNBA, so we got to it's not fall where we have NFL. We have a gazillion things going on.
Here's the thing: you and I could just start really hammering WNBA.
I'm always. I got to look for.
There's juice. There's drama right now. The Sophie Cunningham storyline is great.
That's kind of wild, actually.
And the way Indiana Fever, like they are promoting her on social media, is hilarious, dude. They are just leaning into her taking on the villain role.
Did you see that Caitlin Clark, when she got hurt, the ticket sales dropped by like 500%?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's unreal.
She is the messiah of the WNBA.
Okay, 1.5 red demon total bases for Luis Arias. Okay, Spencer Schwellenbach, Atlanta at the New York Mets. Pretty fun series going on here. 5.5 pitcher strikeouts, more than for Schwellenbach. Chris Sale, unfortunately, just got hurt, out for a long time in this season. I don't know if he's out for the entire year yet. Had an injury to his elbow. So that means you're going to put more stress on the starting pitching staff. I don't think right after this, Schwellenbach is a pretty good pitcher. Probably doesn't get the love that he deserves because Chris Sale is the ace on this roster. But Schwellenbach is a very talented player. I think 5.5 pitcher strikeouts. I like this more than I know the Mets are a good lineup, but the Braves have been playing a lot better ball recently. And I like that it's not at 6. 5.5, I feel like it's very manageable. We're going to go more than for Spencer Schwellenbach. Eduardo Rodriguez, Arizona, playing at Chicago, the White Sox. Eduardo Rodriguez, 5 pitcher strikeouts, more than. He has not hit this number in each of the last 5 games.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So that's what Prize Picks is telling you. They want the under. They're go, well, if he hasn't hit the last 5 games, why would he hit the over here?
Because maybe this dude sucks. Are you sure about this?
No. Rodriguez, he's struggled a little bit. He throws from a weird arm angle. I think he's a tricky hitter. The White Sox are not a very good ball club. We all know this. I think 5 pitcher strikeouts is very manageable. Another team in the Diamondbacks who dealt with a massive injury to Corbin Burns, their ace. They need some of these starters to start going a little more, some more innings. A series against the White Sox is certainly a way to do that. To kind of get some of your arms back. So Eduardo Rodriguez, more than 5 pitcher strikeouts. Spencer Schwellenbach, more than 5.5 pitcher strikeouts. And Luis Arias, we're going Red Demon, 1.5 total bases, more than for Arias. Thinks he gets back on track today. And again, I think this Padre National game is going to be pretty high scoring. So take that for what you will.
Is that it?
That's it. We got baseball. We don't have as much to work with here.
Caitlin Clark, more than a half point. Luis Ariz, more than 1.5 total bases. Spencer Schwellenbach, more than 5.5 pitcher strikeouts. Eduardo Rodriguez, more than 5 pitcher strikeouts. Are you comfortable that it is a full more than lineup?
I am comfortable.
All right. I mean,
betting under on strikeouts for baseball is a tough watch.
That's a good point.
It's hard. Then you're just rooting for pop-ups, and it's ridiculous.
I'm seeing 20 for 240.
So we're adding Caitlin Clark to this as well.
Yeah. Half point. It's a freebie.
How do you feel about that, Fletch?
We got to start watching a lot of women's basketball.
I'm with it. We got the U.S. men's national.
Should we
team
pick teams? Huh? Should we like randomly pick teams to be fans of?
I'll be a Fever fan.
When was it the UFL or what was the first one to start? AAF? No, it wasn't that.
What was that here? The Fleet?
That was the San Diego Fleet.
For like a year or two?
But whichever one had the Battle Hawks, which it might have been AAF. I remember me, Rich, and
I think it was the UFL.
And Steve Hartman. We all randomly, like out of a hat, picked a team, and we had to become diehard fans of that team. It was chaos, but it was kind of fun. We could do that with the WNBA.
Okay.
Just one of us will become wildly huge Chicago Sky fans.
Hell yeah.
Or Las Vegas Aces.
We need some stuff to watch, man. We got we love baseball, but this is the dog days, everybody.
Right, but we need baseball on the big TV and then something on the iPad. That's how I like to rock my sports watching.
Oh, I didn't even see that Lionel Messi's playing tonight. That's for tomorrow. Never mind. Don't want to confuse everyone. We already have the lineup set.
We'll go. We can start getting some SDFC ones in there too.
Yeah, I got to call Rifkin for some soccer picks.
And we can do it all, man. All right, it is San Diego Sports 760. We got a whole another hour of this coming up next. By the way, your chance to win $1,000 coming up within the next 5 minutes. So make sure you are stay tuned to win $1,000 with the Grand in Your Hand contest, the bonus bucks giveaway. Listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. Your next chance to win $1,000 coming up at 1:00. Do not miss it. Hour number 2 is next. More Padres, a little more John Jones talk. We got to get into this and see what actually happened.
Some NFL news as well.
We got NFL news. Oh my God.
We do have some NFL news.
NFL news coming up next.
This report is sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors. Padres back for 3-game set against the Washington Nationals tonight. The Nationals bringing a record of 32-46, while the Padres are 42-35. That game will be going at 6:40. Mitchell Parker will be on the mound for the Nationals, while Stephen Kolek will get the stripe for the Padres. The run line is set at 8.5, and the early favorite after Oklahoma City wins the title is them again at plus 220, followed by the Cavs at plus 700, the Knicks at plus 750. Kevin Durant going to the Houston puts them at plus 850, and the Lakers are sitting there at 14-1. Pella Windows and Doors offering 25% off to celebrate 100 years in business. As the leader in window innovation, Pella is rated number 1 by Consumer Reports. Don't wait. Visit Pella.com to schedule your free consultation today. That's PELA.com.
What time is it? Game time.
Walk off magic at Petco.
Iglesias to short, spinning and throwing home. Late.
Padres
Padres win.
take 2 of 3 over the weekend. Tonight, the Nats roll into America's finest city. Game 7 of the NBA Finals. The joy
The final chapter reads the Oklahoma City Thunder of the 2025 NBA champions.
and the pain.
Halliburton's hurt right away when he fell. Plus that strained calf. He's in pain. So emotional. It's the right calf.
A torn Achilles for Tyrese Halliburton. We'll look at the fallout from the NBA Finals and those long shots.
We're going less than for Shea, 44.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I think this is too high for a game 7. So less than on that. More on 5.5 pitcher strikeouts for Nick Pivetta.
Wrong.
Less than on 6 pitcher strikeouts for Zach Gallen.
I am too smart. I am too smart. S-M-R-T. I mean S-M-A-R-T.
Now it's time to enter the Fletch zone.
I think you're super smart, Sammy Long. Don't listen to what big voice guy has to say. It's hour number 2 here on the
Shout out
Fletch
to Homer
Zone.
Simpson.
Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. Still plenty to go here on a Monday show. Thank you for being here. If it's your first time checking us out, my name is Ben Fletcher. That is Sammy Long. Every day we do something called Long Shots coming at 12:45. Sammy's one for the weekend didn't really pan out, but it's a new week. And it was a flex Friday anyway, so we all got the money back.
And Tyrese Halliburton got hurt, and he was included in my over, and he had 9 points in 5 minutes, so he was on pace. But I'm gonna leave it like that.
So, Sammy, you just read the stat of how many people were watching Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
16.4 million
Huge
people
number.
watched Game 7. That is the most watched NBA Finals game in 6 years.
That's crazy. That's a huge number, man. And compared to which I believe they had a 20% decrease for the first few games of the series. So it was not a huge watch series, but it was a huge watched Game 7. Now, while this last commercial break was happening, I did ask Sammy, I wonder how many more people were watching Love Island season 7, which is going on right now, compared to the NBA Finals. And I do think for the majority of the series, more people were watching Love Island. Now, last night, NBA Finals, 16-something million viewers. That's huge. That is a regular season NFL game huge. That's a big number, especially for the NBA Finals, which was struggling. I did look up how many people have been watching Love Island. And while there's not a head count like they will with network TV because it's streaming only, what they do have is that there's been 1.2 billion minutes viewed across 9 episodes, the first 9 episodes of this season from June 6th through the 12th, a 244% increase compared to the previous week.
Well, it's also unfair because Love Island's global. Well, I guess the NBA is global.
This is Love Island USA. There is Love Island UK.
Yeah, but people watch UK. People watch all that. People, once you sit down and
that is this season's, for 1 week of time, there was 1.2 billion minutes watched. That is a huge number.
That's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. There are watch parties happening across the country at bars every single night now because it is on every single night except for Wednesdays.
That's a way that Peacock kind of has that covered. Like, do it nightly in a row. Because if you do it 1 week at a time, people forget, and then they do. In Netflix,
Sammy, we've gotten like 25 texts during the show today. At least 8 of them are about Love Island.
Oh, yeah. And people, like, Netflix drives me crazy. You ever seen Too Hot to Handle?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. It didn't really catch me.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid, but it's kind of entertaining.
Love Island is also very stupid and ridiculously entertaining.
The problem is they do Too Hot to Handle. They drop 4 episodes, then they'd wait a week, then they drop 3 more. It's like you're killing the vibe of the show. The Love Island going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row is genius.
I'm gonna try to read this one without giving out any spoilers.
The NBA
but
could have learned something from that instead of doing every other night, instead of
having every night,
having 3 days in between.
and just give them 1 day off. That's all they need. Other than that, we are going Monday through Sunday. 858 Texan says Ace and his, let's say, groupies are ruining the season. No way blank should have went home. Bro can't win no matter what he does. Ace is there to hate. Yeah, Ace running the house, I think, is a bad thing. If there was anyone in this season who was a plant, like who's not a real person, but who was an actor they hired, I think it is Ace. Just my little prognosticator.
How do you think you would do on a dating show, Fletch?
Terrible, awful. I'd get so they have to like make out with 5 different people. I would feel so bad. Like you can't.
Wait, you feel bad about what?
You're like
making out with
cheating.
different people.
You're forced to cheat the entire time.
Well, I think if you're going on a dating show, I'm not sure you're really concerned about cheating.
I have real emotions though. I can't be fake about it.
So you're saying you would be crying after you made out with one girl,
or if I saw the girl I was interested in make out with 5 dudes. No, that would break me, Sammy. I'm a fragile guy. All right. This is giving me an idea though. Reality Bros should be a podcast where bros who watch reality shows are throwing up an hour-long episode.
Pitch that to the #1 podcast network in the world, iHeartMedia.
That's not a bad idea. Sammy and I volunteer as tribute. We'll do it.
I'd love to do that. Are you kidding me?
Talk some Bravo celebrities all day long, baby. Let's get it
Andy
going.
Cohen on here?
858. I'm using my 20% boost on long shots today. Let's get it.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll run through the lineup again at the end of the show today, but it is time to get through the sports stories in the world. Sammy, gosh, stop taking me down these reality loopholes.
Someone just tuned in and is like, what the hell is going on?
This is what the hell's going on. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long, Big 3, Hour 2, hit it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
Come on, Sammy, stop wasting time.
You know, Love Island does kind of work because we've had the stream jump 100 people in like 3 minutes.
Love Island.
Shout out to all you, by the way, 500 on the stream, which is pretty good for an hour into the show.
Look, if you're a married dude and your wife wants to watch TV, she's been watching Love Island. And then don't even lie because I know you are lying.
Yeah, you're kind of getting a quick little peek over the couch.
You get more interested than she is. I know that's how it's going in my house right now.
Does she get turned off by the fact that how interested you are?
No, dude. I literally got off the couch cheering the other night and she was just laughing and filming it to send to her friends.
Okay, sports. Travis Hunter, NFL. We got to get an NFL storyline here. I mean, come on. Travis Hunter is the first non-QB not taking #1 overall to get a fully guaranteed contract, $30.6 million that he got. Do you have a problem with this? Does it set a bad precedent, or do you think it's interesting because he's a two-way player and he's kind of a unicorn?
Good for him. Good for Travis Hunter. Let's start off by saying that. I'm happy for Travis Hunter. Jacksonville, I think, is making a lot of mistakes here. Look, the dude plays both ways, and that's huge, and it's something we haven't really seen before, right? Well, there's kind of a reason for why we haven't seen it before outside of Deion Sanders, who did it, but he didn't even really do it. He wasn't a two-way player. He had little packages installed on one side of the ball. Travis Hunter, I don't know exactly how they're going to use him. I highly doubt it's going to be a situation where he's playing every snap on offense, every snap on defense. I think it's going to be mostly one or the other, and then we'll see what they sprinkle in. Fully guaranteeing this man all this money is ridiculous because not only is he double the player, he's doubled the liability. He has doubled the chance to get hurt. If he is playing both ways, even if it is a fraction of the time, it's probably a lot easier for you to get injured playing cornerback and wide receiver than it is playing cornerback or wide receiver. I think this is a mistake, man.
I can't wait to if Travis Hunter's everything that we think he is, and I think he's a superstar. I mean, there's no reason to think that he's not going to be an absolute baller.
There's going to be a lot of me's putting their shoes in their mouth.
Travis Hunter deserves what he's getting right now because he's unique.
He has not played a down of NFL football.
I know
he doesn't deserve anything right now.
You got two supposed starting superstar caliber players for the price of one, for one draft pick. By the way, a team that gave up a massive amount to get you. Here's where I worry about being on a team like Jacksonville, who's not a very good team. I think Jacksonville, actually take that back, could surprise some people this year on offense. Everyone kind of went out on them last year because they weren't very good. They do have Trevor Lawrence. Brian Thomas Jr. is a really good player. You got ETN still there. The defense is definitely a question mark. But they're going to use him way too much because it's not a very good team, because it's not a team that is a Super Bowl contending team where you can kind of spot play him. Like if he was playing on the Eagles or the Chiefs or the Bills or the Ravens or a team like that, they would pick out a role for him on one side of the ball and then spot fill him on the other. The Jags, knowing that they don't have talent everywhere, they're having to sell tickets. Every time they're talked about relocation, the Jags are the first team that gets mentioned. They are going to use him just to the end of it. I'm curious with his next contract, knowing that Travis Hunter playing both ways, probably going to have years taken off of his NFL career simply because of injury. If he asks for some crazy Ohtani type deal where his agent's going to go, you're getting 2 superstar players for the price of 1. I just don't know if any other player can sit there in a contract negotiation and go, well, Travis Hunter got this. You go, well, are you playing corner too?
I mean, I'm really curious to see what it looks like. I hope he does earn every penny, because if he does, that means we're seeing something we've never seen before in an NFL uniform.
It's going to be fun.
How do you feel about the Shohei Ohtani comparisons?
I think it's fair.
Ohtani proved that he could do it, though. Like, Ohtani was an ace and the best hitter in baseball at the same time. We saw that happen when he was with the Angels, and we're starting to see it happen again with the Dodgers if he comes out and is pitching as good as he used to. I'm very, very curious to see how this works with Travis Hunter. I got doubts.
Again, if he sucks and he's a bust, it's going to be a whole thing. But I do understand the Ohtani comparisons of we haven't seen a player like him. Dion, ironically, as head coach, best corner of all time, played some snaps at receiver and kick returner.
Best corner of all time?
Who's better than Deion Sanders?
I'd have to think about that.
Yeah.
Sure, he's up there.
He's up there?
Shut up. Sammy?
Shut up. You know, what are you talking about? Deion Sanders is the best corner of all time.
What's next?
Okay, let's head a quick little golf. We didn't hit this in the first hour. Travelers Championship. Keegan Bradley comes back of a lifetime. Tommy Fleetwood, most top 10 finishes, 42 now in his career without a win. Tommy Fleetwood sells it on the final hole, hits it in the bunker. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, heartbroken for Tommy. This just keeps happening to him, man. He is that conversation. You just said it. Top 10 finishes. He's got 42 of them in his career and never been a winner. This sucks for Tommy Fleetwood. But Keegan Bradley, can we give the man some props? Couple Eagles on the final day of play. That ball he hit on 18 where he's kind of tucked behind the bunker, needed to put it close to win the tournament. He puts it close. He walks it off. Good for Keegan Bradley, who had a great reaction, by the way. OKC just kind of walking off the court last night, kind of lame. Keegan Bradley winning that tournament, the Travelers yesterday, the way he reacted after that putt went in was epic. Good for Keegan Bradley. He's a good guy on the tour and deserves a win. Got to win. But Tommy Fleetwood, man, when are we going to get this done? When are we going to stop choking? We're going to start calling you Rory, except for Rory who hasn't won anything.
Yeah, golf is just such a mental sport.
It's so hard.
I mean, it's crazy. It's almost like you're the best in golf to be second or third heading into Sunday and kind of not have a lot of pressure and just be hanging around and wait for them to screw up. Yeah, you saw Fleetwood's face drop when he missed that putt. I mean, you could just see it, you kind of felt bad for him, but then again, he's a PGA pro. So
Scotty tied for first after day 2, falls off the map. Crazy triple bogey on his first hole on Saturday.
Yeah, it looked like we were gonna get Scotty, Rory, Justin Day all kind of showing down at the end.
Leaderboard was jammed heading into Sunday, and then it kind of fell apart.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna get a little bit of playoff. All right, let's head back to the NBA. So Kevin Durant, we hit it hour 1, traded to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, 5 second-round picks, and the number 10 overall pick in this year's draft. Here's a little curveball question for you, Fletch. If Kevin Durant were to win a title by himself with no Warriors, where would he rank all time? This is a man who says he should be in the GOAT conversation.
I mean, he already is a top 10 player of all time. Can we both be comfortable with saying that?
I don't know.
Okay, he has a little bit of the Aaron Rodgers to him, where if you're talking about talent, he is up there. But it's the pedigree, it's the championships, it's everything that Kevin Durant doesn't necessarily have. If he wins one with Houston, you have to put him in the top 10 list.
If he wins one with Houston, I will think about putting him in the top 10 list.
No, I think you have to. I think if he takes this Houston team, who are you saying 100% above him? Kobe, LeBron, MJ, 100% above him.
Magic, Kareem, Larry Bird,
Wilt, Shaq.
So
we're getting close.
I'd put Curry above him. Curry has 4 titles.
I would too.
I mean, tons of guys.
Tim Duncan.
Hell, I put Reggie Miller above him. If you're talking about in terms of talent, yes. Top 10 most talented guys to ever pick up a basketball. Yes. You would have a shot for Kyrie Irving. If you're talking about just talent, Kyrie Irving is one of the best ball handlers there's ever been. But in terms of winning, Tom Brady is, if you said top 10 most talented quarterbacks of all time, he would not make that list. He's the greatest quarterback of all time because he wins and he won and he won and he won. I like the comparison to the Aaron Rodgers thing. Kevin Durant talking about how he's in the GOAT conversation. You won 2 titles, joining the team that beat you when you were with the Oklahoma City Thunder in 7 games. I can't hear this. I don't think he's at number 1 anymore to go win a title. If he were to win a title by himself, the conversation were change. I think that then he's got a legit case because you're talking about he did it by himself. But right now, I'm sorry, Kevin Durant. he goes, I have 2 titles and a couple MVPs, but you did join an all-time team. So yeah, you do deserve to get knocked for that.
All right, there's nobody cooler that listens to this show than our buddy Jamar. I know that for a fact. Sammy knows that for a fact. Jamar on YouTube just hopped on the Love Island train, knocked out 9 episodes over the past few days. This show is wild. Sammy, what are you waiting for?
No, I need to. I was watching.
What are you waiting for?
I was watching Scrubs all night last night.
Scrubs is great. Scrubs is going to live on Hulu forever, though. You've seen Scrubs already. Love Island.
Okay. So I thought about starting it last night. I really did. But then I was like, is it going to end tomorrow?
What do you mean?
Like, when does Love Island end?
Oh, there's still weeks to go.
There's weeks
to go? Left. Yeah.
How many episodes are there?
There's tons. Monday through Sunday. There's an episode every night except Wednesday.
That's a little.
And
aggressive.
Saturday night episodes are nothing. It's like a podcast, basically.
Yeah, because they know everyone watching Love Island's not.
But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday is like the best TV going right now.
They got weeks left.
Weeks. Casa Amor is just tonight. I think that marks the halfway point.
I've never actually watched Love Island. I've watched like F-Boy Island. I've watched Too Hot to Handle. I've watched the dumb ones. What is the goal? Are they trying to win money?
The final couple as voted on by their peers. So whatever
I hate that.
is going to get $100,000. That's fine. That means nothing.
That's a popularity.
Honestly,
it's like I'm back in high school.
But once the show gets to that point, it already kind of sucks. Once everybody's closed off and you got the last 4 or 5 couples, whatever it is, it's right now. This is when we're in the heat of it, Sammy. You are missing Hall of Fame worthy stuff on a nightly basis.
Hall of Fame worthy. No, I need to hop on it. I don't know if I want to go binge watch 19 episodes.
I think you should. I really do. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I will do it for the show.
San Diego Sports 760. We'll take a quick break here. We'll be back with some more Padres talk as we preview quite literally a team of Padres coming into San Diego to take on the Padres. That's next, live on the iHeartRadio app. If you're thinking about buying your home, selling your home, or maybe refinancing your loan, there's one person you need to talk to. His name is Gary Cooper. He's a pal. He is over with Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty. Gary Cooper is the one-stop shop for you. Call him today at 858-376-1299. When you do call Gary, you're going to get what he calls his degree in loanology. He will take the time to talk you through every aspect of the word mortgage, what it means for you, and why when you call 5 different companies regarding your mortgage, you're going to get 5 different answers. Smoke, mirrors, shell games. That's all the mortgage landscape is these days. People will tell you 10 different ways you're going to be saving money. Really, on the back end, they're going to be losing you money. Call Gary Cooper today. He eliminates the smoke and the mirrors. He eliminates the shell games when it comes to mortgages. He will tell you why, explain to you why when you call 5 different companies, you do get 5 different answers concerning your interest rates, your closing costs, and how no points, no cost loans really work. Call Gary Cooper today, 858-376-1299. You can also visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. But really, you're going to Gary because you trust Gary. I trust Gary. I wouldn't feel comfortable telling you all about him if I didn't. My wife and I are using Gary Cooper to make our first home purchase, the biggest purchase we will ever make in our lives, the biggest investment we will ever make in our lives. And we are going through Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty with Gary Cooper. Call him today, 858-376-1299. Coming up tomorrow, you're going to hear from Gary. He'll tell you exactly why you should call him. MountainTrustMortgage.com, 858-376-1299. When you call him, tell them the Fletch sent you. It's San Diego Sports 760. We'll be right back. Wednesday night, 6 o'clock, right here on San Diego Sports 760. It is SDFC Midweek Live here from the head coach, Mikey Vadas, as well as interviews with players and coaches. Find out the latest club and MLS information, SDFC Midweek Live, every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock, right here on your home for SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. They're hitting the road this weekend, I do believe. They're heading up to Vancouver to take on the Whitecaps up in Canada. Should be good timing for the boys. All right. San Diego Sports 760. Let's talk about it because the Padres are coming to play the Padres tonight. At least the former Padres are coming to play the Padres. We did do a little digging. Mackenzie Gore will be pitching in this series against the Padres. If you remember just 3 years ago, Mackenzie Gore was labeled as untouchable by AJ Preller and the Padres brass. That is until Juan Soto became available to trade for. And then the Padres gave up Mackenzie Gore along with CJ Abrams, along with Luke Voigt, along with James Wood, who is now a superstar for the Washington Nationals and one of the bright young talents in all of Major League Baseball. And what position does he play again, Sammy? Why don't you let me know?
Something the Padres could maybe use left field.
Maybe left field. That'd be nice. Yeah, James Wood's been tearing the cover off the baseball this year and playing a pretty damn good left field. And he'll be at Petco Park over the next few days. And we'll see what happens here. This is going to be weird. I personally do not regret the Padres going and getting Juan Soto because the what could have been was worth it. And that team almost won a World Series. And that team probably should have. They had one of the more talented rosters in all of baseball. But you do look in the rearview mirror and you see what the Padres gave up. They could use starting pitching right now in the form of Mackenzie Gore. They could use a really talented young left fielder in the form of James Wood. And I'm sure they could use another shortstop like CJ Abrams because the team is quite literally full of shortstops. So we'll see how this plays out over the next few days. But Sammy, do you think there's going to be a little bit of head scratching, a little bit of hemming and hawing on the form of the Padre fans thinking about what could have been?
Totally. And I agree with you. Hindsight's 2020. You had to make that move. You took your shot, you took a swing, you beat the Dodgers, but you came up short against Philadelphia. And you never know because these prospects, right, it looks bad like this. Like now it looks like the Washington clearly won that trade. But there's been trades where take for the Dodgers and the Red Sox. The Dodgers get Mookie Betts and they send a prospect back who was cut a year or two later. So prospects, you never know. You're thinking about what they could be. You're getting a generational superstar in Juan Soto.
And you also have to take into account that the Padres ended up with Dylan Cease. The Padres ended up with Michael King. Like all those wouldn't have necessarily happened.
They flipped it back, so it kind of worked out a little bit better. But I mean, certainly, this is exactly what the Padres need. They need more hitters. They could certainly use another arm in the starting rotation. And
I wonder if the Nationals would be willing to trade James Wood.
I don't think so. I don't think that they would.
You don't think the Padres could snake him back?
I think if James Wood was available, there would be a lot of other MLB teams calling about him as well.
You're absolutely right.
But so it sucks. I'm sure that they're going to have something to prove this week. This is a big week for the Padres. Obviously, had a tough 10-day stretch there against the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. Rebounded nice over the weekend. I'm worried a little bit about the bullpen. Now, heading into this weekend, on Friday, we talked about this. Concerns that need to be addressed at the trade deadline. Left field is a massive glaring need. The bullpen could use a couple more arms and the starting rotation. Starting rotation, as long as everyone gets healthy, which it's kind of annoying to keep saying at this point because it's like if Yu Darvish comes back and Michael King listened to AC on John Jim on, I believe it was Friday, didn't seem great on Michael King. He didn't say it was bad. There's no structural damage, but if the starting rotation comes back, I think that the Padres are set. The bullpen, though, I mean, they're wearing these dudes out.
Bullpen lost the Padres the game on Friday. Randy Vasquez was fantastic yesterday, working in past the seventh inning. I think for the first time in his career,
has been really good the last couple weeks.
Vasquez makes me nervous every time he pitches, but he always seems to come through it okay.
I'm nervous with the Padres because you see the first 3 weeks when everyone's healthy, the bullpen's fantastic because in theory, bullpen of Estrada, Morejon, Adam and Suarez is pretty nice, but Adam is, I believe he's the most taxed relief pitcher in the entire major league, something like that in terms of his innings count. Estrada's gotten touched up the last couple weeks and, Morejon's been nice, but there's kind of that report that came out last week. Maybe Morejon or Suarez gets dealt. I think that they really need to focus on the bullpen. Now, maybe Xander Bogaerts and Jose Iglesias are kind of allowing for that. The fact that they're stepping up at the back end of this lineup because the hitting in the Dodgers series was absolutely abysmal from the back end there. So definitely got some holes, but excited to see where this team kind of goes for the All-Star break with a massive homestand.
Yeah, and then trade deadline is about a month away at this point, so we'll see what changes get made. Obviously, there's changes to be made, and hopefully the San Diego Padres do. Real quick kind of sidebar, Steven Strasburg, former Aztec great, a World Series MVP at one point throughout his career. He is set to be part of the 2025 Baseball Hall of Fame class, which just got announced earlier today. So Strasburg was with the Aztecs from 07 to 09. And then in 2008, he had that 23 strikeout game against Utah, the only college baseball player on the 2008 Olympic team. Steven Strasburg headed to the 2025 College Baseball Hall of Fame. Congrats to Steven Strasburg. He also had a ringing endorsement of Kevin Vance, who is set to take over the Aztecs baseball program, which needs to get like its footing back right. We talked a little bit about that with Coach Quintera a week ago today. So congrats to Steven Strasburg. He's making all San Diegans proud. I know he is. And World Series MVP to come out of San Diego is always pretty cool too.
San Diego State's got a lot of like big time players that have come out of there.
Kawhi Leonard, not bad. Tony Gwynn,
Leonard.
not bad.
Yeah. Marshall Faulk.
Be fun to do like a who was the best Aztec of all time.
Oh, I mean,
we got 30 minutes left. Text line 70470. Start your message with team. You can make an argument for Falk, one of the best running backs in NFL history. You can make an argument for Kawhi, who's been so amazing, and then Tony Gwynn,
most injured, and
Steven Strasburg and Kawhi have that in common. Unfortunately, both of them
Kawhi could have been.
Yeah, Tony Gwynn probably takes the cake for me.
Tony Gwynn, obviously. I mean, that's. I think he's won.
But when you go career accomplishments, he never won a World Series. But you go career accomplishments, Kawhi's won.
But I think it's
two NBA finals.
Yeah.
Both of them, he was NBA final MVP.
Yeah.
Marshall Faulk was part of that greatest show on turf.
But the thing with baseball, though, is one person can't go win you a World Series. In the NBA,
Steven Strasburg got pretty damn close when the Nationals won the World Series with him.
The NBA titles matter. We got into this last week. Titles matter more in the NBA than they do in MLB or the NFL. Because you can't, a player's playing both ways. You got the greatest quarterback in the world, and if your defense sucks, you're not winning a Super Bowl.
It's also a different conversation when you talk about greatest as an Aztec versus greatest career.
Right. Those are two different things.
Because Steven Strasburg might have the argument for greatest as an Aztec. Dude was freaking dominant all through college.
That's an interesting question. I wonder what Schaefer would say to that.
Is Schaefer to have a good answer? But text line 70470. Start your message with team. Let's hear your answers.
I got one.
We'll read it for the rest of the show.
Ted Leitner.
Teddy. That's a good one. I mean, he's in a bunch of Hall of Fames. I think he's in the Radio Hall of Fame.
Broadcasting Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Deservedly so.
Teddy might be the GOAT. Might be the GOAT. All right. We'll take a quick break here. We'll read your text on that 70470. Start your message with team. Also, a quick shout out to our guy, Gary Cooper. He doesn't have to listen to the show, but I'm glad he is.
Gary.
You know what, Gary? You're getting an extra phone number.
I got to beat Gary. You guys were at my spot Phil's a couple weeks ago. That's my bar right down the street.
Gary Cooper's the man. Call him today. 858-376-1299. I can't make this promise, but he might end up taking you to Phil's too. Probably not.
That's my haunt. I know Mike, I know Taco, I know all the bartenders at Phil's.
Buy a house through Gary Cooper and he might take you to Phil's. How about that?
Unfortunately, we need to make a little bit more money, but Gary's my guy when we do.
858-376-1299. All right, we'll take a quick break here. Talk some NBA on the other side. We got some NFL news as well. We got to get to. That's next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This sport is sponsored by Cal Fire. Padres start a 3-game set tonight against the Washington Nationals. That game will be going at 6:40. Padres currently minus 175 on the money line. Mitchell Parker will be pitching for the Nationals, while Stephen Kolek will be going for the Padres. And Oklahoma City Thunder are who won the title yesterday over the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton unfortunately tore his Achilles and will miss a large part of next season, if not all of it. They are the early favorites at plus 220 to repeat next year as champs. The Thunder. Protect your home and property now. Start at the house and work your way out by hardening your home and creating defensible space. Learn more from Cal Fire on what it means to be ready at readyforwildfire.org.
iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances from Bryan Adams, Ed Sheeran, John Fogerty, Mariah Carey, Maroon 5, Sammy Hagar, The Offspring, Tim McGraw, and more. September 19th and 20th at the T-Mobile Arena out in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. Buy tickets at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out. Yeah, that's coming up. You see NASCAR's coming to San Diego?
That's going to be fun.
I got to figure out a way to get there on top of an RV, just screaming, shake and bake in my Wonder Bread costume.
It's downtown, right? So you could technically be in like a hotel. It's on.
I do think it's on city streets. Like they're blocking off an area of it, which it doesn't all fully make sense to me. Maybe somebody smarter than me can explain it to me at some point. We should get someone on to talk some NASCAR. But like
I got a friend who's a diehard NASCAR fan.
I'd love to chat with him. I'm really curious to see how it looks. And I somehow want to be on the grass in the middle. I don't know if there is a middle.
Who's going to be the starter? Who's the most San Diego? I think
there's a good argument to be made for Ted Leitner.
I think Ted Leitner should be up there. I think obviously a guy like Joe Musgrove, San Diego through and through.
Say if you could get Kevin James to come out and do it.
Kevin James.
He's not a San Diegan, but that would be ideal.
Tom DeLonge.
Tom DeLonge would be great.
Would be a good person there.
Dude, just Kevin James. I don't know when he did that, but it was when they were promoting I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. It's because he's got that hat on.
Yeah.
The amount of viciousness coming out of that man in that moment, nothing will ever match it. Oh, so good. But yeah, we'll see who would be the good starter. That's a great question.
760 just said Tony Hawk. That would be great.
Tony Hawk would be good. 858 saying blasphemy that you would even argue it's not Tony Gwynn for greatest Aztec of all time. Obviously, it's Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, I thought we said. We did. It's Tony Gwynn. I think the conversation starts. Whiskey Bennett thinks Marshall Falk. Can you read that text? Too far for me, Fletch.
Yeah, he says no Aztec got the national spotlight like Marshall Falk did. From that aspect, greatest Aztec of all time. It is Marshall Falk.
That's a good point.
Just the numbers he was putting up in college, like the whole RBU thing, started because of Marshall Falk and the way that he dominated college football, and then translated that immediately into an NFL MVP, part of the greatest show on turf, one of the most historic offenses of all time. Marshall Falk, I mean, put the Aztecs on a different map because of how the national spotlight went to him. Kawhi Leonard, it's no one's had a more successful professional career from a San Diego State jersey than Kawhi Leonard, just in terms of championships. Won 2 of them, NBA Finals MVP twice. Did it with 2 different teams. Is trying to get there with the 3rd team. We'll see. But it is Tony Gwynn. We could just say that.
Yeah. I mean, to go from San Diego State to the Padres is just so cool. Yeah.
And then back to San Diego State.
Yeah. I mean, Kawhi, all the talent in the world, but at some point, I mean, he's missed more games the last 5 seasons than he's played.
Unfortunately, he's also the face of load management. That would not be a term without 100% Kawhi Leonard. So there's some asterisks next to him as well.
When Greg Popovich moves off you, something to be said there.
After winning NBA Finals MVP with Greg Popovich. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. All right, let's talk about this Fanatics game. Did you see any of this outside of the press conferences that went viral?
I didn't see the game. I saw Kevin Durant get told he was traded there, and then
on stage. That was nuts.
While on stage, and I saw Canelo Crawford had a press conference at Fanatics, and Max Kellerman popped out, which is funny. He's gonna be calling the fight with Lampley.
That is cool. Good for Max. But Tom Brady wins the thing as if Tom Brady needs more money. He got $1 million prize that was attached to it, but it was like Joe Burrow trying to throw a baseball. He looked like a fish out of water. Couldn't do it. He literally like spiked it into the ground because he tries to throw it like a football. Tom Brady wins the thing. Congrats, I guess. It's a little weird. This Michael Rubin guy who just seems to me like he really likes being around famous sports stars. And so he paid a bunch of famous sports stars a lot of money to come out and compete in like Olympic style, backyard style games. and everyone's sort of doing something they're not entirely comfortable with. But I guess it worked. My eyeballs hit it 10 or 12 times over the weekend on social media only. I don't even know if this thing was.
Yeah, they kind of go for a social media blast there.
But was it YouTube streamed? Like, I'll be honest, I honestly did not know it was a competition until I saw Tom Brady won the whole competition.
Yeah, we're tired of Tom Brady winning things.
He doesn't need to win anything for the rest of his life unless he throws on that Team USA jersey and plays flag football in the Olympics.
Where again, though, we don't want slowpoke Brady. You want Lamar. Lamar is who we want at quarterback for the USA flag football team.
It's hard to disagree with that.
I mean, obviously, you want someone fast. I don't care about the arm. Again, Uzbekistan's not catching Lamar Jackson's flag.
Never
That's not
once.
happening.
All right. But in the NFL, there is some fun stuff. So we talked a little bit about the Travis Hunter thing. Did you see? Let's stick with the Travis Hunter thing. I don't really care about the other stuff, but the Travis Hunter thing is crazy. So obviously, two-way star, maybe in the NFL. We haven't seen him play down a football, but he gets his entire contract, his rookie contract, fully guaranteed up to, is it $30 million?
30.6.
30 up front. That's already in his bank account as of today.
But I get it because the Jacksonville's building the entire team around him.
Dude has not played a single snap.
I know, but
they are building the team around Trevor Lawrence. They have to. That's the quarterback.
I know. Jacksonville needs star power. They need to sell tickets. They need to have fans. We go back to this. Every time there's potential relocation to London or relocation to the NFL, the Jags are always the first team mentioned because they're I mean, they got a damn hot tub in their outfit in their stadium.
That's cool, man.
No, it's
very Florida.
What team wins with a hot tub in their outfield?
Maybe the Jags will be the one to do it. At one point, they had Blake Bortles take him to an AFC championship game. That wasn't that long ago. I remember it clearly.
Yeah.
Miles Jack and that defense, they were crazy.
They should have won that game, actually.
They should have.
But, I mean, listen, I don't have a problem with it. Travis Hunter, he's going to have to go back it up. But this is a guy who did it his whole career. I mean, he played at Colorado, which did not have the talent around him. It was just him and Shador. I mean, there was no talent around this team. So sometimes they kind of knocked, Shador for how he played against upper tier competition. Well, Travis Hunter, every time he played upper tier competition with some of the best corners in the league and all this stuff in college football, he always met the challenge. I'm excited to see Travis Hunter there. They gave up a ton of picks, first rounder next year to Cleveland to get it. But again, drafting a guy like Mason Graham going to Jacksonville, people go, oh, cool, you fortified your defensive line. Now you have Trevor Lawrence, who had a lot of buzz on him a couple years ago, and then people fell off of him. Brian Thomas Jr., really good young player, who was kind of a breakout rookie last year. And now Travis Hunter. I get why he's getting this much guaranteed money. First off, Shad Khan is not shy to give out contracts. He screwed the entire receiver market when he gave Christian Kirk 4 years, $72 million.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's Travis Hunter is going to be a unicorn. I'm excited to see him play. I hear your reservations, Fletch.
Well, it's wild giving it to a dude who's never played. Never once. It's wild giving a fully guaranteed contract to a wide receiver or a cornerback, and to give one to the guy who's like going to change the whole narrative of the NFL and come in and play both is guaranteed is crazy.
I don't have a problem because you're going to pay that contract anyway. I have a problem with the fact I think if you're the Jags, you're going, oh no, because if he's everything that we think he is, and I think Travis Hunter is going to be a superstar.
The next contract is going to be
the next contract
painful.
He's going to go. What does Justin Jefferson make? $30 million a year. 32?
I want more.
32. He's going to say, well, I want 40 a year because not only am I the best top 5, if I'm a top 10 receiver in the NFL and I'm a top 10 corner, if I'm not playing, your defense and offense gets hurt. So his contract negotiations are going to go through the roof when that comes up in 3 years.
72 days, 10 hours, 18 minutes, and 10 seconds until kickoff of the 2025-2026 NFL season.
Hey, did you see Netflix? They released quarterback comes out July 8th. The second the NBA finals are done, they just immediately do it.
Let's do it. I'm so hyped. 72 days, 10 hours, 17 minutes, 55 seconds now, which means we're probably around 69-ish days away from most fantasy football drafts. People try to do it a few days before the season begins.
What's your thinking? Okay, so I have
on Travis Hunter. I'm not taking him.
Oh, I didn't even mean that. I meant like holding your fantasy draft early or right next to it.
No, you got to do like days before the NFL season.
That's me. I'm in a couple leagues where they like to do it in early July. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
So many injuries happen between early July and September 4th. You can't do it. Even August, I'm out on it. So September 4th is day one. I want my draft on September 1st at the latest. Who should
be a top pick? I don't know who's the top pick this year.
It is tricky because you don't trust McCaffrey anymore. You can't trust him to stay healthy. There's an actual argument, I'm not even kidding, to be made for Ashton Jancy.
No, I hear that.
Because there is guaranteed usage in a Pete Carroll offense for the star running back, and that's exactly what he's going to be. So at least at the start of the season, there's guaranteed 20 touches a game minimum.
Because if you're thinking like Tyreek's older, so Tyreek, even though he was top pick a couple years ago, Justin Jefferson's always there.
But Justin Jefferson has JJ McCarthy as his quarterback.
Jamar Chase is always great, but then he's competing with targets for T. Higgins and other guys. So I don't know if you really take that with your number 1 overall pick.
There's a real argument to be made for Ashton Jancy. By the way, the sleeper this year, you're going to get him in like the 5th round, is Nick Chubb.
By the way, Travis Hunter might be an unreal pick because if he's a great receiver,
no,
think about it. If he gets interceptions,
I don't think it counts.
Yes, it does.
It would have to count as a touchdown only, so he'd have to get a pick 6.
If you get interception, if you get individual stuff, you get points.
Right, but if you don't have individual defensive players on your team, I don't think it counts. They don't know what to do with that.
Well, I have a problem with how the iHeart's league is run.
iHeart?
No, not with iHeart. With how the iHeart fantasy football league
your problem is with Eddie Papani.
Yeah.
Let's make that very clear. He is the commissioner of the iHeart League, which is the dumbest thing ever. You have to pay for every transaction you make, trades or anything.
Yeah, Eddie, I think we're looking for a mutiny to get him out of there.
You could be the new commissioner. You should step up and say that.
I would run that.
San Diego Sports 760. We will close this thing up. Get you ready for John and Jim coming up next. It is San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. We got 9 chances today for you to win $1,000 every single weekday with the bonus bucks giveaway. Listen for the keyword, enter it at sportssd.com. Your next chance to win $1,000 coming up in about 9 minutes, right at 2:00, right before John and Jim jump on. Grab the keyword, go over to sportssd.com, enter it there. You could win $1,000, $1,000 in your hand. It's a bonus buck, or as they've been saying over on Big Rich TD and Fletch, go fund yourself, San Diego. It's not bad, right?
See what they did there.
It's not bad. The all-star numbers are in for baseball right now, and Manny Machado is looking like the only position player for the Padres who's going to get in without some Herculean efforts from the voters. Manny Machado does have double Max Muncy, who's the second place vote getter for third base. But if you go around the horn, at catcher, Elias Diaz is at number 10. Will Smith of the Dodgers is number 1. First base, Freddie Freeman's going to get it, 2.9 million votes. Pete Alonso's second. Luis Ariz is 5th. Second base, Jake Cronenworth is 8th in voting. Ketel Marte and Tommy Edman look to be getting the 2 spots. Manny Machado, like I said, has double Max Muncy votes. They are 1 and 2. Shortstop, Xander Bogaerts is number 9. You see the play Xander made yesterday out in the field?
Yeah, Xander's turning this thing around recently.
Dude, looking like the best shortstop in baseball over the last few games.
Well, that's the thing is, it's there with Xander. And we've seen the talent before. We just got, if he gets out of his head, which he has been the last, 4 days? Considering
he's been
the
awesome.
last Dodger game. So if he gets out of his head, we know the talent's there.
Well, now the defense is picking up too. He hasn't been bad defensively this year, but he hasn't necessarily been great. Yesterday, he made a truly great play at shortstop, kind of ranging into the middle of the field, turning on a dime, putting the throw on the money. It was really fun to see Xander get a little confidence back. Designated hitter Gavin Sheets is at number 9. Shohei Ohtani obviously leading the way, 2.5 million votes. He's actually the highest vote getter, period, for anyone at their position so far. And then outfield, I think that Fernando Tatis Jr. is the closest for the Padres, but the top 6 outfielders will get in. Fernando Tatis Jr. is currently at number 8, Jackson Merrill at number 14. So if Manny Machado and maybe Robert Suarez are the only 2 Padre All-Stars this year, does that feel right to you, Sammy?
I don't care about who's an all-star. I care about I care about them winning and having success in October. So maybe use it as fuel, use it as motivation. I'd
rather Fernando Tatis Jr. not go.
I mean, go ask Dodger fans before they won the title last year if they cared about all their all-star nominations over the past decade and the one championship to show for it. They wanted a championship. They got it last year. So I at the end of the day, my
name's Sammy Long and I don't like fun.
No, we're about hanging banners. That's what we're about.
Well, you forgot to tell the Padres that that's what they're supposed to be about. I don't think they've hung any.
Well, we're going
Never
forward.
a World Series one.
By the way, we want to shout out all the people on our stream. We hit a record. We had 891 was our record. We hit it a month ago. We're right here at 900. We're at 899, I believe. So shout out to all you. We love you guys. Seriously, it means the world that you guys tune in every day, spend a little part of your day with us. And I know you guys all got busy schedules, but it means a lot.
Sammy's about to get emotional on us.
I'm about to get emotional on us.
That's very cool. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Real quickly before we get out, it has been confirmed. It is official now. Tyrese Halliburton, what we all knew already, but Tyrese Halliburton did tear his Achilles last night in the first quarter of Game 7. Which ended up going OKC's way. They win their first championship in team history. Good for OKC, I guess, but it does feel like there's an asterisk on it. And that asterisk comes in the form of a completely ruptured Achilles for Tyrese Halliburton.
Well, it sucks both ways because if you're a Pacer fan, you're going, what could have been? I mean, the magic that happened, the fact they were winning at half without Halliburton, he comes out as 9 points immediately. You're always going to think about what if. And then for the Thunder, I don't want to be the guy that's discrediting the championship because I said this earlier in the show. As a Laker fan, people go 2020 doesn't count. It frustrates me because I think that's ridiculous. I think it was one of the hardest to actually win being in the bubble. I want to get Oklahoma City their props. They were the best regular season team all year. They went through the playoff run and they took it to them. But there is always going to be an asterisk. There's always going to be people going, yeah, well, you didn't have your best player. And you saw that come out in the third quarter when it was just TJ McConnell scoring and they couldn't really buy a bucket from anyone else when they were double teaming Siakam. So it does feel like a little bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. Congrats, Oklahoma City.
Pacers were a cool story, man. Everybody was rooting for the Pacers because they did have a little bit of the team of destiny to them throughout the entire postseason. And they won games where they were down 12, 14, 16 points with minutes to go in the game. And they figured out ways to come back and win. It felt like they were the comeback kids the entire postseason. And for them to lose it that way, for them to lose it with Tyrese Halliburton sitting in the locker room, surrounded by his family, with Tyrese Halliburton now getting ready for surgery in the coming days, probably missing a big chunk of next season too. And that really sucks. And that's a crappy way to end the season.
We're getting out of here because we ran out of time, but there's a great text about fantasy football from the 760 we will get to tomorrow.
Mañana. We'll see you tomorrow. John and Jim coming up next. San Diego Sports 760. Thank you for being here.